Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 116-104 win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Toronto Raptors basketball is officially back. It's the regular season startup now, so we're into real game action. This channel is back, the Raptors Digest is back. We're back making consistent videos. We're sorry for the couple weeks we took off. It's been crazy busy times with me at schools, midterms and all that, and Riker's been exploring the world, but he's back, settled down a little bit now, so we're going to keep making content for you guys as the season is here. We're here to stay for this season, so really excited to get back on the podcast. But enough about this channel and right into this game, because this was a phenomenal season opener for the Toronto Raptors. And obviously Kyle Lowry had a big game, but the first person I want to talk about tonight is our new guy, our new superstar, Kawhi Leonard. Tonight, he had 24 points and 12 rebounds, that's a huge rebounding total for a small forward, and he doesn't usually do that, so that was great to see him being aggressive on the glass. But to start this game, he did look a bit rusty. The guy really hasn't played consistent basketball since the 2016-2017 season. Obviously, he played a bit of preseason this year and 9 games last year while he was hurt, so he hasn't really been in the thick of things, and it's going to take a while for him to get back in the groove, like any player, but he's been out for such a long period of time. He's also getting adjusted to the Raptor system and coaching, so it's excusable that he's going to miss a few shots. He shot 9 for 22 from the field today, but the thing about Kawhi, when the shot isn't going, he's doing so many things on the court. Just watching him play, throughout the preseason for us, but especially tonight, because, this is our first important game. He's out there defending. We all know Kawhi Leonard is a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, is one of the best defenders in the NBA, but it's just really refreshing because, DeMar DeRozan, phenomenal guy, not to bag on him like the TSN skit did before the game. For the people that watched it on TSN, they had a clip comparing Kawhi Leonard to DeMar DeRozan at the beginning of the game, and they kind of flamed DeMar on national TV, which was kind of weird. I don't know. If anyone saw that, tell me your reaction to that in the comment section. That kind of baffled me. But DeMar DeRozan, phenomenal scorer for us last season. But whenever his shot wasn't going, he wasn't cooking like DeMar usually is. He really wouldn't provide much on the offensive end or obviously the defensive end. But Kawhi Leonard, when his shot wasn't dropping tonight, his presence was still felt throughout the game. He still had a very positive impact on the game. And that's something that Kyle Lowry does to the team too. And it's something that's been noticed by Raptors fans, something we've been talking about forever. The same effect is felt by Kawhi, but to a greater extent. I talked about the defense, but his rebounding, especially tonight, 12 boards, is phenomenal for a small forward. But also the ability to move the ball throughout the offense just had such a great flow tonight. And obviously we talked about the revamped offense last season. It looks like it's only going to get better this year, and we have so much to talk about what's been happening with training camp and everything. All the new things, the new skills people are bringing to the table. So it's going to be a really exciting year. We won't break everything down in this podcast, obviously, today. But I was really encouraged by what I saw from Kawhi Leonard tonight. Let me know what you guys think, because obviously the shot wasn't perfect, but he still had 24 points and 12 rebounds, which is great, even if it's not on the greatest shooting. But once that three-pointer comes back and we really get the prime time Kawhi, I think it's really going to turn heads throughout the NBA. But that's enough on Kawhi. The player that really stole the show tonight was Kyle Lowry. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on a pod, but my thoughts about Kyle Lowry going into this year is because Kyle Lowry is a very determined player, and that's something we've always known ever since he came to the team when he was the backup point guard to Jose Calderon. He's always been a grit, grind bulldog that's ready to go. And when he's motivated, when he's into the game, it's something takes over him. And I was thinking that maybe this season, Kyle Lowry could have one of his best years, because obviously the Raptors traded DeMar DeRozan. There's so much going on with the team. Maybe it just makes a hyper-focused Kyle Lowry to prove everything in the NBA, right? Then the preseason happened, and I was a little bit discouraged by what happened to Kyle Lowry. Obviously, we didn't get too much reaction, and we couldn't break down much of what happened in the preseason, but Kyle Lowry didn't look too great throughout those games, especially the one in Montreal where he was thrown out and seemed very angry. But tonight, oh my God, did he dispel anyone that was saying that he had a bad preseason, because he had 27 points and 8 assists on 10 of 12 shooting from the field, 5 for 6 from 3. My goodness, was Kyle Lowry great tonight. When the Cavs, and shout out to the Cavs, they really didn't play a bad game tonight. They got some nice guys on that roster. Might talk about them at the end of the pod, but When the Cavs made a little run, it seemed Kyle Lowry put a stop to it every single time. Whether it was a three or a drive, Kyle just had an all-around phenomenal game tonight, and that's one thing I'm really encouraged about seeing. Obviously, Kyle Lowry probably won't average 27 and 8 throughout the season. That's ridiculously high numbers. But last year, Kyle was kind of relegated to just a three-point shooting role. And I didn't mind that throughout the year, as obviously Kyle Lowry's workload over the previous 2 seasons were just way too much, and he'd go into the playoffs overexerted and injured. But I was hoping to see that Kyle Lowry that gets in the paint and creates for people more often once the playoffs started. And the fact that he didn't do it all year throughout the 2017-2018 season, he really couldn't turn it on the playoffs. He still had a great playoff postseason, but he didn't have that thing in his game last year where he gets in the lane and really uses his size, because he's for a 6'1", 6'2" point guard, he's a very big guy. He's a strong guy, so he can really get baskets in the paint and draw help defenders and create for other people. And that was something that I saw tonight, and it was something I was hoping he's going to bring back to his game this season. Obviously, I don't want him, getting thrown all over the floor and all that, because I don't want Kyle Lowry injured. He's by far second best player, and anyone that says otherwise doesn't watch Toronto Raptors basketball. But it's great to see that he still has that slashing ability, because it's such an important part to his game. Just hopefully he doesn't overdo it. It's definitely a fine line that he's going to have to walk to make sure he doesn't get injured. But still, I'm happy to see that Kyle Lowry is back getting in the paint. And hopefully, maybe not every night I want Kyle Lowry to get banged around, but I like to see that in his game. So I was very encouraged by that. Do I think Kyle Lowry's going to do it, have such a great night every night? No, he's coming out motivated right now. But very encouraging. Very encouraging first game. But the player I've been most intrigued about coming into the season, obviously besides Kawhi, because he's our best guy, he's our top new player. The Kawhi aside, the player I've been most intrigued about seeing how he's going to do is Pascal Siakam. Now, you hear NBA analysts like Brian Windhorst talk about how he's changed his game and he's the next Draymond Green, and there's a lot of positive media going around about Pascal, and he showed flashes last season of his improved ball handling and his ability to create and finish around the rim. And towards the end of last year, he kind of had a three-point shot, but it still wasn't really something you respected. But he looked much improved, and he showed that he could be a great player if he really fulfilled his potential. And honestly, this game that summed up Pascal Siakam was his first shot when he hit that corner three. Those threes that you'd always cringe he'd take last season, but he shot this one with confidence at the very start of the game, banged down a three, and I don't know, that just had me really excited. Pascal had a great game today, 13 points, 6 of 8 shooting, only 2 rebounds and 2 assists, 20 minutes of action. He struggled with foul trouble early. He got 2 quick early fouls that got him out of his groove, but the way that he cuts, he's always been a phenomenal rim runner, right? Every time the shot goes up, he runs down the floor and gets easy buckets that way. But now it seems as if he's improved his cutting ability and his basketball awareness. I'm surprised he only has 2 assists looking at the box score, because when he gets the ball, it seems to just flow and fizzle around the court, and good things happen when Pascal has the ball. And he started tonight, and I think that's the perfect position for Pascal. I think he needs to be in that starting unit ahead of Serge Ibaka and even OG Anunoby. As much as I love him, maybe OG can sneak in at the 2. That was my desired starting lineup of the year, but obviously Danny Green is a very good player as well. No complaints there, but I think Pascal in the starting unit is key. The starting unit has been known to be a bit lethargic for the Toronto Raptors. Our bench mob, it was like 2 different teams last season. The starters, who were more talented and more skilled, that played a slow, more ISO-oriented style basketball last year, and the bench mob, obviously less talented. They're the bench, they're the young guys, but they played at such a fast pace. And, that was greatly, and largely due to the fact that Pascal Siakam was always running the floor and bringing the energy. I think those skills brought into the starting unit will really give them a jump start. Really make sure Jonas doesn't come out, relaxing, and making sure Kawhi is on his toes and Kyle Lowry is focused. I think just having that spark plug in that starting unit is something that's very valuable, looking at how they played last season. I think it's a great addition. Now that his skills seem improved too, I think Pascal Siakam might be one of arguably our 3rd most valuable player this year. That's definitely something you can argue with me in the comment section below, but my God, he showed a lot tonight. I was really encouraged by him in the starting unit. I thought he meshed well. obviously everyone's just getting used to each other, and we don't have that continuity like the Lowry, DeMar teams did because they haven't played enough together. But I think that's going to be a key. And once they get adjusted to everyone's innuendos on the basketball court, I think it will be all good. So I was really happy with Pascal Siakam. Another guy that didn't have the greatest shooting night, but I was really encouraged again, is Fred VanVleet. 14 points, 5 assists tonight, 6 of 14 shooting from the field. Fred is a phenomenal driver. He's really good at breaking people down. He had some. Looks like his handle has even gotten a little bit better this season. But he was getting to the rim, and he struggled finishing around the rim. Those easy, finishes over people. Obviously, it's tough when you're a small guard to get the ball up over in the paint. But he's missing those. But those will come as the regular season progresses. And his 3-point shot wasn't perfect, but Fred is still doing Fred things. And the fact that he had a bad shooting night, right? His shot wasn't cooking, and he still had 14 points and 5 assists and impacted the game in a positive way. It's just reassurance that Fred is going to take another step forward this season. It's a common theme with all the players. Once the shot gets comfortable, once we get a few games under our belt and everything starts to click and mesh and gel together a little bit more, I think this team is going to be scary good. And because the guys besides Kyle Lowry had a great shooting performance tonight, phenomenal game all around. But everyone else really didn't have the touch, didn't have the mid-season feel. But our defense still looked ridiculous. And I could rant for days, and I bet you every podcast that I talk about this season, I'm gonna rave about the Toronto Raptors defense. But just having guys like Kawhi, OG, Siakam, Danny Green on the court, it's our defense is just scary. So once the shooting catches up to our defense, our raw defensive ability, and even when our defense, gets a bit more structured, because we still look a little bit chaotic, but still super effective just because of how great individual defenders we have. The Toronto Raptors are going to be very, very tough to beat, but for any team in the NBA, and that just really has me excited. And we haven't done it in a while. It's been a while since we've had an actual Raptors game, but unfortunately, this season we had to cut the GOAT play of the day. We had to retire it. I'm sorry, DeMar DeRozan. Pay our respects. You're gone from the team, so we had to update the GOAT play of the day. We don't have a graphic for it yet, right? We don't have a cool animation. That'll be coming soon. But this season, we're bringing in it's a new segment called the Kawhi You Do 'Em Like That play of the day, and it's for the most exciting play that we saw in this game. And obviously, there was a lot of highlights in this game. We've had an OG clamp god steal and ridiculous dunk over George Hill. There was a bunch of threes and 1-3s. A lot of stuff happened, but the play that really strikes me is at the beginning of the game when Kawhi Leonard tried to do a post-up and the ball just swung all the way around the court to Jonas Valanciunas in the paint. OG cut off him. Jonas throws a little behind-the-back pass, looking like Jokic out there, throwing a no-look to OG, who slammed it in for a massive yam. That was exciting to see. OG looks like he's got his ups this year. That's also something I got to say. OG didn't have the greatest scoring night tonight, but he looks a lot more athletic and a lot more comfortable, a lot more in control of his body, right? And obviously, he had the ACL injury in the end of his college career, and as someone that's had that injury, it's something that affects you for at least a year and a half after it happens. So now that he's probably 100% completely healthy, he had a complete offseason to heal and get his knee right, his ups look great. We know OG's defense has been phenomenal for his whole stint as a Raptor, and he can still throw it down, but now he looks like his bounce has just increased to a significant level, so that's going to be something really interesting to watch. OG Anunoby, love the guy. He's going to have a big season this year. Maybe, if not scoring, he's going to impact the game. So that was the Kawhi You Do 'Em Like That play of the day. Let me know what you think of it, right? Think of the name, right? If you think it's lame or whatever, comment below. If you like it, comment below. But we got to bring it back, right? Not all plays can be the Kawhi You Do 'Em Like That play of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the OG's play of the game goes to Serge Ibaka, right? Got a nice little dump-off pass in the middle of the lane, came down and just tried to throw down a nasty yam and just completely missed it, right? It's not preseason anymore, but it's the first game of the year. Serge Ibaka looked like he was getting a lot of kinks out tonight. He missed a lot of pretty open shots. He was 2 for 10 from the field. Honestly, Serge Ibaka gets the OG's player of the night because Had 9 points and 7 rebounds, which isn't too bad, but 2 for 7 from the field, fouling out. Still 3 blocks, which is fine, but I'd like to see a little bit more out of Serge, a little bit more efficiency. I'm happy Nick Nurse didn't start him. I know the starting lineups are trying to be fluid this year, but and maybe Serge can rekindle some of his OKC power, but he really didn't look too good tonight. Hopefully, yeah, that's all I have to say. Hopefully Serge can get it back. Didn't look too great last season, didn't look too great tonight. Hopefully with the bench, he can get cleaner buckets and make the easy shots. And finally, our last segment of the night. Yeah, we're bringing it back this year. We might give it a name change. Me and Riker haven't really talked about it, but the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star. Right, for right now, it's still the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star. We might try and be more creative with it. Let us know if you want to keep it or change it. Right, has DeMarre Carroll bared enough memes after one season? Right, we know DeMarre Carroll's a great guy. He's just not great for the Toronto Raptors. Should we change the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star? We're asking a lot of questions this podcast. Should we change it? Should we keep it? Let us know. But tonight, the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award, it's not going to a Raptor or a Cav. It's going to, and we're giving it right now so we don't have to say it anymore, right? It's going to all those analysts out there that are saying the Sixers and the Celtics are going to be better than us. The Sixers and Celtics are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's going to Stephen A. Smith, who's writing the Raptors off completely, right? You know, we don't really care about the media reporters, but it's something I wanted to bring up before the season starts, before they see how great Kawhi Leonard is now. I'm just giving him the gold star right now for the season, right? They can't hop back on. They've gotten the DeMarre Carroll gold star. The Toronto Raptors looked a lot better than the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers did in their game tonight. I think our defense is just going to be overwhelming for any of these teams, and once the shots start falling, I'm really surprised of how slept on the Toronto Raptors are, even though I'm not, because I know our team. And it's not. We're going to try not to get frustrated by that. It might be honestly a good thing having Kawhi Leonard to fly under the radar a little bit, right? That's something the Spurs did for so many years. It might be a good thing this season to fly under the radar. We're coming out here and we're taking over the league. I was really encouraged by this whole night, this whole game. The preseason was great too. I know we didn't get to share our thoughts on that too much, but you know, the Toronto Raptors have me really excited for this season. And let me know what you guys think about the Toronto Raptors game, their first opening game. Right, we're on pace for 82 wins this season. Right, this could be the best Raptors year. 82 is still in question. We can still win 82 games. Let me know how you think the Raptors will do this year. If you're encouraged, discouraged. We love hearing your thoughts, especially when I'm doing a solo pod because I don't have me and Riker to argue about things. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. You're the best for making it this far. We got a lot of, as we said at the beginning of the pod, a lot of content coming, right? You know, the season's just getting started, so stay tuned to the Raptors side. Just subscribe if you haven't already subscribed yet. Courtside Connect is starting back up, right? We ran a 2-week beta test of that over the summer. That's going to get started again. So big projects coming from us. You're the best for listening. Cheers.